Welcome to the name game. Workout number 67 is heat. 4-time 21-15-9 of a Calorie AirBike, Bar-Facing Burpee, and Power Snatch. The Power Snatch weight is 75 pounds for males, 55 pounds for females. The Calorie AirBike, yes, it is 21-15-9 for both males and females. The other thing that's important for the AirBike is that you have to reset the bike after each round. It's no different than the rower. Like each time you get back on the rower and a qualifier, you have to reset the monitor. On the bike, it's the same thing, right? So for example, on the assault bike, you're just gonna hit stop twice, it'll restart and you'll kick back on. Does not matter if you're on an assault bike, an echo bike, etc. So let's loop in Coach Chris and we're gonna talk about strategy.
First impressions is that, this is definitely a workout. It's gonna give you an open feel, right? Lightweight, low barrier to entry, really, really sucky. Not much in terms of difficulty or anything like that that's going to slow you down. More like pure capacity work. And so that's kind of my initial impression, and kind of managing the 45 reps of each and finding a pace that allows you to really kind of hammer the end of this workout. Like I said, very, very similar to an open feel.
What do you think the separator is in this workout?
I think the separator is probably going to be the bike. How much power someone's going to be able to sustain on the bike. And then from there, I think the approach to the bar-facing burpees and power snatches, I kind of lump those together. I think those are the two main things. So it's like how fast and how high of a RPMs, right? Or a wattage output can you hold on the bike? Because you'll have some people that hammer that first 21 cals and then it's like falling off a cliff after that.
Not recommended.
Right? No. And then we were kind of talking about it before the call, but then I asked you and we both kind of went like, do you hang on to the bar the whole time? Right. And so those are probably kind of the main points or the main speed bumps in the workout.
So if we could maybe guide some people, 75-55 for a male and a female, let's go through both. What do you think maybe the threshold is? Like, hey, if your max is under this, you need to break it.
Man, I think that's real. That can be tough to say, but I would more look at it like this, like almost like on an RPE ladder. If moving a 75-pound barbell is crazy light, like that's the stimulus you're looking for.
Yeah. So rather than looking at like a max, like say like, rather than doing that, like look at it like if this is going to be super challenging to hold on to, period, versus just doing it in a workout, like you should probably break it.
Yeah, 100%. Right. Like let's take it out of a workout. If someone asked you to do 21 power snatches, that should be like, all right, like I could do that at any day, any time. Someone could wake me up at 2 a.m. and it's like, I have no problem hanging on to that. Right. And even from the sport perspective,
imagine someone walking into your house.
Yeah.
Power snatches.
Get up, pick up the bar. But yeah, being able to like be really soft with the bar and smooth, it should not be an issue at all. And if you're like, oh, it kind of is, then it's like, all right, don't even entertain hanging on.
Yeah. And especially if you're someone who has decent shoulders, which most CrossFitters should, like muscle snatch that. Like there should be very minimal knee bending going on because your legs are going to be fried. Yeah. To me, I mean, you had mentioned this before. I think, your pace on burpees and snatches almost needs to be sort of like mirrored to what you can do on the bike. Like you shouldn't have this big discrepancy, like where you go super hard on the bike to try to make up time for slow burpees and lots of breaks in your power snatches. And you shouldn't go really slow on the bike so that you can hold on to unbroken sets in your power snatches.
Right.
Like maybe level those two out a little bit where it's like you still have to go somewhat hard on the bike, maybe harder than you would like, but you can't let your burpee speed get too slow and you can't let your breaks. If you take, say, 2, maybe 3, man, I don't even want to say to take that many breaks, but for some people, that's probably realistic for what they can hold.
Sure.
Maintain decent pace. Then it's like, you have to be very diligent. I don't think it's wrong to break more. I think it's wrong to stop, stare at the bar.
It's wrong to rest more.
Right. it's fine to break them, or you just, yeah, don't rest too much. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I think another big one, and I could see this happening, is people get off the bike, they step to the bar to do burpees, and they take a break. And in my opinion, I've always looked at it and I've explained it to my athletes, guys, bar facing burpees is falling to the ground and getting back up. That's it. Don't sit there. Like, don't sit there with your hands on your knees, contemplating your life. Just start laying down. Even if you're moving slower, keep moving. Because again, if you build the capacity and you build the movement efficiency, you can, in some movements, kind of catch your wind if you just move a little bit slower. And if you're doing that, you're gaining ground on the end goal versus taking a break and then moving slow anyways, right? Like, so my recommendation would be get off the bike, immediately start your burpees, even if you're moving slow. And then, like you said, kind of move at it's still going to be a fast workout, but don't come out sprinting. And then on the last, just mentally and physically be prepared in the round of 9 to just really, really suffer.
Yeah. Yeah. This is going to be one of those
welcome
where you're
to
like
the sport.
At the start line and you're like, oh boy, I'm a little anxious for this one.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those. What are we thinking in terms of time domain for these? Let's start with a male, because I think the time domain is going to be a little different for males and females, just because the cals is the same and males tend to be bigger, which certainly helps on the bike. What are you thinking?
Yeah. So for me, whenever I look at a workout like this, I try to think of myself as like, okay, how long will this generally take me? And that's because I find myself to be average. So if I have someone who's super good, it's like, okay, he'll probably be a little bit fast. He'll probably be fast in this. Someone who maybe is not quite there yet, or maybe the capacity isn't their strength, it's like, okay, maybe not there. But 21 cals on the bike, I think a little bit over a minute. So let's call it a minute 15. I'll probably round up to a minute 30 just for transition time to be factored in. 21 bar facing burpees, I'd call that a minute. And then 21 power snatches, just for the sake of argument, call that a minute. So maybe the first round takes, maybe 3 minutes, right? A little over 3. I would probably factor in about the same for the second round, maybe a little bit less, but maybe about the same just for some fatigue and speed degradation.
So you're finished around the 6 minute mark or so.
Yep. And then the last round, the 9 of each movement, I would say should probably be, you're shooting for within a minute and a half for that entire round. So I'd say probably, 7 to 8 minutes is probably a kind of time domain, maybe 8, maybe a shade over.
Yeah. I mean, first guess would be like a semifinal male athlete would be like 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And then from there, you can kind of start to project paces. Like, 7 would still be crushing this workout, in my opinion. 8, a little bit slower. I mean, realistically, I think 8 to 9 is going to be a lot of people falling in that range. And then for the female side of thing, I think burpee and power snatch is the same in terms of cycle speed. The air bike, man, I'm thinking like, okay, so if it takes you can get on average, it's like 17 cals for a little over 400 watts. And the females realistically aren't going to be holding that. I don't think the males are going to be holding that in the second half of this workout. So I think realistically, you're looking probably 90 seconds plus even for that first one.
Yeah, probably like 2 minutes is what I would think. Unless you have someone who's like,
yeah, and maybe that just depends on like, you should probably
really
know
powerful.
your air bike capacity. Like if you're 5'2" and 111-pound female, like you're going to be like cruising like this for 2 minutes. And yeah, for someone else, if you're a bigger individual with longer limbs, you can probably get away with a little bit quicker. But again, that's just knowing you and your capacity. But yeah, I would say for females, 8 to 10 minute range for a lot of people in this workout.
Yep. Yeah. It's kind of what I was thinking.
Okay. Well, again, I think a lot of people just see 21:15:9 and they think, oh, it's a sprint. But again, that kind of gives you an idea. Anytime there's more than a couplet and they're like not, you know, a simple gymnastics movement and a light barbell, like you should probably respect it a lot. So
yeah,
we're looking
this
at
is like
closer to 10 minutes in this workout for
right. And that's why I kind of said like it's like your classic open stimulus where it's like you got to go fast, but at the same time, it's in that middle, like really sucky range where it's like 7 to 10 minutes where it's like, okay, it's not a pure sprint. You kind of got to find, but you got to find like a 90% pace and hold it and then just hammer the end.
And lastly, we encourage as many people as possible to jump in with you and do these workouts. So you've got people who want to throw down with you, by all means, encourage them to do that. However, we want everyone to submit their scores, right? So where you're going to go to is orfitness.com. You'll hit on menu, drop down from the protocol. You'll hit that tab called name game. And then you'll go down to the first workout, which should be the newest one. And you're going to click that little green arrow. There you'll be able to enter your name also with the workout name. That's important because it tags it so it doesn't get lost in the forum later on. But then you obviously are going to put your score or your time, and then you'll submit it. If you click on that little number next to it, you're going to see all the other comments, right? You might actually not be able to view them all. So if you hit view all comments, that's going to take you down sort of a leaderboard where you get to compare scores. And then also your coach gets to help determine where you stack up versus other competitors to be able to determine your individual weaknesses. This is going to be super helpful for us, pretty exciting and engaging for you guys. And if you're someone who's watching this, you're not a Zor Fitness athlete yet, I'll link to it below, but you can either check out the protocol or one-on-one coaching and we'll reach out, see if you're a good fit. And for everyone, best of luck on the workout.